And now to impeachment. Sounds like 2020 in some ways, but the Constitution states that when the President of the United States is tried, the Chief Justice shall preside. Well, Chief Justice John Roberts did that a year ago when President Donald Trump was impeached for the first time. But now a source tells ABC News that Senator Patrick Leahy of Vermont, he's the president pro tempore, one of the senior members of the Senate, is expected to preside over Donald Trump's second impeachment trial. Well, ABC News political director Rick Klein and radio correspondent Aaron Katersky join us now for more. So, Rick, what's Senator Leahy presiding over the trial for, and how could it impact it that Chief Justice Roberts isn't there?
Yeah, Terry, it's going to look and feel entirely different. I think having the Chief Justice presiding over a trial, there's been two in the last 20 years that we've known to see that Chief Justice is just part of the magistry and part of what makes a trial different of a president. The thinking on this one, and Leahy's just put out a statement confirming that he's going to preside over it, is that because he's not the sitting president, there was no absolute requirement that Chief Justice Roberts preside. We know that Chief Justice Roberts is loath to be involved in politics, and whether he signaled through private channels any kind of unwillingness could have been a factor, but mainly this is in keeping with what you see for an impeachment trial of, say, a federal judge. Other federal officials in the past, you've had someone who isn't the Chief Justice presiding, but I do think, Terry, it is going to feel, I think, for a lot of Americans, and maybe even to some Senate Republicans who are contemplating whether to convict or not, it's going to feel sufficiently different that they might free them up a little bit to potentially acquit. I actually think this is a pretty significant development.
It is. It will certainly not look like previous impeachments of presidents, as you point out. Aaron, the Dominion Voting Systems Company, which came up so frequently in the post-election period with President Trump and Rudy Giuliani and other people saying that it was fixing and had stolen the election. Well, they're suing President Trump's personal attorney, Rudy Giuliani, for defamation now, seeking more than $1 billion. Company says he and his allies deceived millions of people into believing that Dominion had stolen their votes and fixed the election. So what's Giuliani up against here, do you think?
Giuliani is up against a company that is really upset with him. The company executive in the lawsuit say they've been harassed and they've been threatened, and the company's reputation has been needlessly shamed, all because of what the lawsuit calls a big lie, namely that Giuliani says that the company somehow tipped the election in favor of Joe Biden, and maybe did so because it's a Venezuelan company with ties to Hugo Chavez. And Dominion says that that's not true. The company was actually founded in Ontario to help the blind vote. And Giuliani, for his part, says he looks forward to this lawsuit so that he can try to prove this allegation. And this is a fight that Dominion really wants to have. They want to clear the air publicly. They also want $1.3 billion in damages. And they say they want to call Giuliani out as a liar because they say he knew there was no evidence of this and yet promulgated this falsehood, especially on television and radio and the internet, although notably not in court, Terry, where, as you know, lying comes with consequences. Yeah,
as an officer of the court, he was very careful not to speak out about this in court where judges could sanction him. So, Rick, on another subject, President Biden signing an executive order increasing the amount of federal spending that goes to American companies, America first. He's also working on getting his COVID relief package through Congress. So what does his agenda look like now? How does it stand?
Look, I think this is a week where you start to have to make good on the unity themes of last week. We saw it in our polling over the weekend with Ipsos, Terry. Broad support for the notions that the president gave voice to at his inauguration. Broad support for some of the early executive actions, but definite signs ahead where there are troubles. The president spent some time on the phone over the weekend with a bipartisan group of lawmakers, Democrats and Republicans, who call themselves the problem solvers. Well, there's nothing really solved yet in terms of these big problems, and there's a lot of sticker shock in terms of the price tag. What I've been struck by, though, is how the White House has signaled an openness to those negotiations. We've heard Jen Psaki again today point out that presidents rarely get everything that they want. That's actually very true, but it's very rare that a presidential administration this early on, less than a week in, acknowledges that publicly. That's a breath of fresh air to a lot of lawmakers who, frankly, just want to keep and start making laws right now. There are deals to be cut, but they will require some significant scaling back of the goals. And that, I think, is the inherent tension right now as the Biden White House navigates a Washington that's still very divided.
An opening bid, perhaps, from President Biden there. Rick Klein, Aaron Katersky, thanks very much.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.